Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Eva, and today we are going to be talking all about the brand new limited edition Tom Ford 2024 Valentine's Day collection. Now, I had asked on my YouTube community tab if people were interested in me picking these up. There wasn't a ton of interest and I was going to resist, but then the little heart imprints just really got to me. I love, 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 love Valentine's Day themed makeup. I would say like over the course of the year, January and February are my favorite months for makeup because you get all of the really cheesy, stupid, but cute themed collections. Like ColourPop always does a really cute Valentine's Day one, and then we had a cute one from Tom Ford. So all that being said, I used some of my Nordstrom's rewards and picked these up. Now, let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about the collection. First off, availability. These are available at Nordstrom. I will have everything linked below. And then the palette is available on Sephora. And as it becomes available at more and more places, I will have all the links down below that you can shop to support my channel. So starting off with the eyeshadow quad, this is a re-promote. So this is the eyeshadow quad in the shade Honeymoon. I did not own this one. And I mean, the imprints. The imprints are just everything to me. I know it's so silly, but the imprints got me. So this is a re-promoted palette. And then the blush is a new blush. It is the shade Love Scene. And here is what it looks like. It has a really, really pretty little heart embossing with the TF logo. And it's a really pretty tawny peach shade, which these are my favorite shades of blushes. The packaging. I love when Tom Ford does the limited edition packaging. I have the cherry palette and then the peach palette. And I know the peach one has the orange packaging. The cherry one I'm forgetting now. I think it also has the red. But it is a matte. It is plastic, but honestly, I don't really care because I prefer this matte red to just like the normal shiny metallic Tom Ford packaging. And then the eyeshadow palette has it as well. And then of course you get the nice little protective pouches. The eyeshadow palette retails for a painful $95, which is now standard for Tom Ford. I feel like it went up to $90 this past year and now we're up to $95 because of inflation and just in general, makeup brands are really hiking up their prices. And then the blush is the most expensive blush I've ever purchased. It's embarrassingly expensive, and I almost feel sick saying how much it is, but it is a $90 blush. So this better be the most beautiful, flattering, gorgeous blush of all time, or I will throw a fit. I already have my base on, contour, bronzer, brows, and I will have, by the way, everything on my face linked down below. If you want to support my channel, would love for you to shop my links. I'm going to apply some primer to my eye so that can be drying. And then let's get into the blush. Tom Ford released new blushes, I think last year or the year before, which I haven't picked up even though I've heard amazing things, just because I can never stomach the price point. And for some reason, this one just drew me in. I'm not positive if the formula is the same. Those ones have like a two-tone on them. I'll include a photo up above of what those look like. And I've swatched those before. And this one feels like it is that same formula where it's a baked formula. It's a little bit like hard pressed, but that's just how the formula is. And if you use the right brush, it's typically not a problem. But let's go ahead and swatch this out. It is a very tawny peach shade. Let me do an arm swatch and then we'll also get into some comparisons in a little bit as well. Here is the shade swatched on my arm. I would say it is a satin finish, but it does have a little bit of a glow. There's no glitter, but you definitely get a little bit of a healthy glow in the swatch. So first impression of the swatch is the color is exactly what I was hoping it would be. and it's swatched really, really smoothly. For blush brush, I'm gonna go in with one I've been using a lot lately that has been working well for even more of like the stiffer formulas, and this is the Rèphr 04 brush. I love Rèphr brushes, they're so affordable. So let's go in. I am going to just tap a little kick up, but not too much. And then let's get my mirror and apply. Oh, that is so pretty. Wow, this is gorgeous. This is going on exactly the way I love a blush to go on. It's not overly pigmented, and it has just that lit from within glow. Upon first impressions, the formula is reminding me of the new Chanel blush formula from the Le Beige Winter collection. I picked up the mauve shade of that, and I wore that yesterday and was obsessed with it. And the formula is reminding me a lot of that formulation. So if you have the new Chanel blushes and you love that formula and you wanted a different shade that they didn't come out with, this one could be your answer. I'm gonna go in on the other side as well. Beautiful. And it really has that really, really pretty sheen where I honestly don't even think you need to use a highlighter if you don't want to. It's giving that natural kind of lit from within sheen. I will also zoom you in so you can see what it looks like. We are zoomed in, very subtle, but very buildable. I'll build up just a little more for the purpose of helping it come across on camera, but if I were just wearing this, I would have stopped where I had previously applied. Okay, that is such a pretty color, very, very healthy looking, and a great shade for year-round in my opinion. The eyeshadow palette is the traditional Tom Ford baked wet dry formula, so you can dampen a brush and wear these wet, or you can apply them dry. Today I'll be applying them dry, but I will do some wet brush arm swatches so you can see how much more pigmented and more metallic they are when you do add water. Now for the shades, we have a really pretty champagne, we have a bronze shade, and then on the bottom here we have a really pretty, what is that? More like a cranberry, and then we have a deep plummy purple. I will insert arm swatches here, both wet and dry, so you can see what those colors look like. And this is a formula that I already know I absolutely love. This formula, it's so expensive, but there really is something so special about the Tom Ford eyeshadows that it's really hard to recreate. Like, they're completely undupeable in my opinion. Does that mean they're the best eyeshadows in the world? Not necessarily, but there is something really unique about the formulation. I'm going to do a very simple eye look with this. If you are new to my channel, I'm a makeup enthusiast. I am not a makeup artist. I'm still trying to level up my skills, but you're not going to want to come to me for eyeshadow tutorials. So want to preface that. I will go ahead and get started. I did apply my Urban Decay Anti-Aging Eyeshadow Primer Potion, which is my favorite eyeshadow primer. To start off, I'm gonna go in with my BK Beauty, what is this one? 202 brush into this bronze and kind of just start applying that in the crease. I also want to mention BK Beauty was nice enough to give me a discount code, which is crazy considering I am such a small channel, so big thanks to them, and I will have that on the screen and then in the description below. Highly recommend their brushes. I purchased all these myself and then reached out to them about a code, so I love that brand. Okay, so we are going in with this brush in that bronze shade, and I'm just going to start working that through the crease. Even though these are all metallic shades, you don't have to be like afraid of, I guess, what they look like on the eyes. Sometimes metallics, in my opinion, can be really unflattering if you're over the age of 30 and have like any sort of wrinkle on your eye, but these ones are really flattering. Okay, so we have that bronze shade in the crease here, blended really, really beautifully. I could totally just stop here and do liner and mascara, but obviously we want to use more of the colors, but that took like no time at all to blend out. I want to take that champagne shade and actually work that onto the lid. I tend to do a lot of my eye looks out of order. I tend to do them in a way that logistically doesn't make sense, but we will do champagne on the inner half of the lid, and then we will go in with those other two colors in the crease. For the lid shade, I'm going in with my BK Beauty 203, going into that beautiful champagne shade here. And the way Tom Ford shadows work together, it's just the chef's kiss. Like, you can layer them on top of each other and they don't get cakey or chunky, which is rare for a metallic. A lot of metallic shadows I have found, if you layer them too much, they just get really, really weird and show every single wrinkle possible to ever exist on your eyelid. If I wanted to, I could intensify this by going in with my finger or by wetting my brush. I'll go in with my finger because it's just so much more metallic when you apply it that way. Now for the other colors, I want to work a little of this like cranberry shade into my crease, and then I want to take the plummy one under my eyes. I'm gonna go in with my BK Beauty 207 and go into that cranberry shade and just work that into kind of the outer crease. I would say, as expensive as they are, Tom Ford eyeshadows are so good for beginners in my opinion, because they're really hard to mess up and they're very, very flattering. I mean, I think this eye look looks decent and I am not good at eyeshadow whatsoever. And I am using a lot of BK Beauty brushes because that's just what I've been using lately. I'm going to go in with the BK Beauty 210 and I am going to line my under eye with that deep plum shade. This is the finished look with the eyeshadow palette, but I'm going to go off camera and clean it up a little, apply liner, mascara, do the other eye, and then we will be back to talk about first impressions and move into comparisons for both the blush and the eyeshadow palette. This is the final look. I went a little heavy with the waterline. I ended up using the Victoria Beckham Beauty Kajal liner in Bordeaux. And then for mascara, I used the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, but the chocolate one. Yes, I was influenced by Alex Earl. Yeah, so this is the final eye look. Again, this is much more than I normally would do. When I use this palette again, I'll probably like not do such heavy eyeliner because I don't really feel like myself. But let's get into comparisons for the blushes, the eyeshadow palette, and then we'll take it all home by giving my overall thoughts. I did go through my Tom Ford blush collection. Again, I don't have any of the blushes from the new formula that came out a couple of years ago, but I do have a couple of the old formula that I picked up at a beauty outlet store. If you have an outlet mall near you and you don't go to the makeup outlet, you are missing out because they have great, great luxury products, especially Tom Ford. I did pick out a couple that I wanted to do some shade comparisons in case you own those. You can figure out how they compare to the new shade. Let's start off with the shade Inhibition. This is the one that is most similar to Love Struck. It is a tawny pink, but when we compare them, Love Seen, excuse me, not Love Struck, Love Seen is peachier and a little darker than Inhibition. Let's go ahead and swatch them. The other Tom Ford blush that I thought was kind of similar in the pan, but upon further inspection is quite different, is actually the shade Love Lust. So another love themed blush. So here we have Love Lust, and then we have Love Scene. And the biggest difference is the shimmer. Love Lust is a really pretty shimmery peach, and then it's also a lot peacher. You can see in the arm swatches. So if you already own Love Lust, you are not going to be repeating your collection if you pick up Love Scene. I don't really have any helpful comparisons for the eyeshadow palette. I went through my Tom Ford Baked Wet Dry formula collection, and I don't have anything that's similar. So I don't have any comparisons to do, but that makes me happy because that means when I purchase this, I purchased one that is actually going to be unique to my Tom Ford collection. Let me give my thoughts on the collection. I also should mention they did come out with lipsticks, but I don't pay for Tom Ford lipsticks anymore. I just can't bring myself to pay that much for a lipstick, and those were all re-promote shades. I should mention. So let's start off with the blush. I hate to say it, but I love this blush. This is like my type of blush. I love this formula. I love the baked formula. I love how buildable it is. It is so hard to make yourself look like a clown using this blush, which I often do because I tend to over apply blush. The buildability of this is amazing. The shade, if you are pale, the shade is absolutely beautiful. The formula is great. I mean, I love the packaging. I love everything about this blush. I hate the price tag, and that is a ridiculous amount of money to spend on a blush, so I'm not saying you should run out and get this, but if you're a sucker for limited edition Tom Ford or limited edition makeup, this one is one I'm going to be reaching for a lot. Like I'll be interested to see at the end of the year if this is one of my most used blushes of the year, because I'm just so excited and I'm so glad I picked this up despite the ridiculous price tag. Let's talk about the eyeshadow palette. Again, this is a re-promote. So Honeymoon already exists in their original lineup. I think the color story is really beautiful. It's not a color story I typically go for because they are darker tones. However, this was so easy to apply. It's really hard to mess up these shadows. Like the wet dry formula from Tom Ford is so hard to mess up, and they're so good for beginners, but they don't have a beginner price tag. As far as my recommendation, if I would recommend this palette, I would say if you love this color story and you don't care about the heart imprints and the red packaging, then I would just add the non-limited edition one to your Sephora wishlist and pick that up during the next Sephora 20% off sale, which will be in the spring. They always do it twice a year. But if you're a sucker for limited edition packaging, I would say still hold off a little bit longer because I don't know, I haven't seen a lot of people excited about this because it is a re-promote shade, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's still available on Nordstrom a month from now and then there's some sort of like 15% off beauty sale. So that's my advice. But the blush, oh, like going back in time, like if I did not pick this up and then it sold out, like I would be devastated in this moment in time. I am so glad I picked this up. And if you would like to support my channel, I would love if you subscribed, thumbs up, left a comment. And then if you decide to pick up any of these items, I will have them linked below. I do earn a small commission from everything linked below, and it does really help support my channel. Thanks so much, and I will catch you in my next video.